In the 90s, pop music wasn't predominantly Eurocentric. In the 90s, pop music was R&B. Thanks to Aaliyah, Brandy, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, and so many others, everyone began to dip their toes in the R&B pot. Although club music with heavy EDM beats existed, it took a back seat to hip-hop and R&B. By the time we reached the new millennium, we had artists like Baby Bash, Frankie J, Paula Deanda, Natalie, and Amanda Perez, who gave the R&B sound a little Latin flavor, much like their Latina peer, Jennifer Lopez. But this video is not about her, so let's start things off with Baby Bash. Born in 1978 in Vallejo, California, Baby Bash grew up exposed to many different genres of music. But in 1998, at the age of 23, Baby Bash began his music career as part of the rap group Partner Deuce, with tracks like That's My Partner. Baby Bash began garnering attention from record executives at Universal. He is also known for being a part of the rap group Latino Velvet. All the underground work that Baby Bash put in was starting to pay off. After releasing 2 solo projects independently, in 2003 he signed with Universal Records and released his first album on a major label, The Smokin' Nephew. His first single, Sugar Sugar, featuring Frankie J, reached number 7 on the Billboard's Hot 100 charts. And if you existed on TikTok in 2020, you already know this song. His next album, titled Super Saucy, featured the single Baby I'm Back, which reached number 19 on Billboard's Hot 100 charts. Baby Bash's last album on a major label would be Cyclone, which saw an end to the hip-hop sound and the beginning of the dance club sound. With the single assisted by T-Pain, the song also reached number 7 on Billboard's Hot 100 chart. Baby Bash now releases music independently on his own label called Bashtown Records, where we hear him return to that California, Texas hip-hop sound with a sweet taste of R&B. And I personally prefer this sound over that dance club, pitbull sounding music. Moving right along though, I want to talk about another Mexican R&B chart topper. Introducing Frankie J. In 2003, Frankie J signed with Columbia Records and released his first studio album, What's a Man to Do, with the single Don't Wanna Try being somewhat successful. But it wasn't until his third studio album that he saw major success. Produced by the one and only Happy Perez, who will come up later in this video. With the single Obsession, No Es Amor, Frankie J won over the hearts of all of America. And even if you're not Latino, this will unlock some nostalgia for you. Frankie J was definitely marketed as a Latino version of Usher, and he had the chops to back it up. Obsession performed really well and made it to number 3 on Billboard's Hot 100 chart. Now Frankie J still releases music till this day, and even released a collab album with his longtime collaborator, Baby Bash. Now if you made it this far, please don't forget to like and subscribe. We ain't too proud to beg over here. Okay, now we've gotten to the cream of the cookie, my favorite part of the video. Let's talk about Paula Deanda. Paula Deanda was born on November 3rd, 1989. At the age of 6, she began singing around at small events in her city. Paula got the opportunity to sing in front of Clive David. After hearing her sing, he immediately signed her for a 7-album deal. In July of 2006, Paula Deanda would release her first single, Doing Too Much, featuring Baby Bash. The single would go on to sell over 500,000 copies, making it her first certified gold single. Doing Too Much served as her lead single on her self-titled debut album. Her second single, Walk Away Remember Me, is her biggest hit to date, and the song reached number 18 on Billboard's Hot 100 chart. Originally written by and for Christina Milian and Ne-Yo, though ultimately Christina just didn't want the song. Meanwhile, for Paula, this song was so big we just knew Paula Deanda was gonna be a star. But then Clive Davis ended up leaving RCA. And in that departure, Paula Deanda fell through the cracks. She released a couple buzz singles and got ready to release her second studio album, but it ultimately just got shelved. With her singles Roll the Credits, Besos, Your Place, and Shut Up and Love Me not charting like her previous work. In 2014, 8 years after her debut album release, she decided to audition for The Voice. And even though she didn't win, she was able to reintroduce herself to the American public. We are still waiting on Paula Deanda's second studio album, but in the meantime she has released several singles, and we know it's going to be grown and sexy just like her. Now I want to talk about another artist that you may not remember, but you may remember the song. Introducing Natalie. Now, Natalie got her start in the industry as a cheerleader for the Houston Rockets. While at one of her performances, she was noticed by a producer that goes by the name Happy Perez, and he knew that all she needed was a hit and she would be a global superstar. Originally, she was meant to be a rapper, but she began singing hooks on tracks for certain artists. In 2005, she released her first single, Going Crazy, which ended up going crazy on the charts. The song debuted at number 1 on Billboard's singles sales charts, and she even took the number 1 spot from her fellow Houstonians, Destiny's Child. Natalie will release 2 major studio albums, but by 2012, she officially retired from music. She decided to go back to her roots and is now the head cheerleading coach for the Houston Rockets. Now, Happy Perez, who originally discovered Natalie, will go on to continue to make R&B music. He's worked with Baby Bash, Paula Deanda, Mariah Carey, Halsey, Camila Cabello, and many more, including Ariana Grande and Miguel. Happy Perez certainly has a keen ear for music. And with Happy Perez still making music, the pop R&B sound is sure to stay. Lastly, I want to talk about Amanda Perez. Now, Amanda Perez was another R&B songstress, reminiscent of, maybe Alicia Keys. In 2002, she would release her first studio album, Where You At. Her popularity garnered her the attention from Virgin Records, who would end up releasing her second album, Angel. The title track Angel reached number 20 on the Billboard's Hot 100 charts and spent 19 weeks on there. Unfortunately for Amanda Perez, life started lifing, and when she tragically lost her mother to cancer, she took a break from releasing music. Amanda Perez's emotional delivery in her music truly captivated the American audience, and the rawness of her lyrics really encompasses what R&B music is all about: honesty and vulnerability. In 2013, after releasing 5 albums, Amanda Perez seemingly took a break from music. But in 2016, she announced her return with the promised 6th studio album. Unfortunately, by 2023, it's yet to be released. Though tragedy may have stalled her career, Angel remains an R&B heavy hitter. Unfortunately for a lot of artists, the dream of fame isn't always the dream they wanted. In the end, if you can create something that is loved and admired for generations to come, in my opinion, you won. Mexican R&B may be just a distant memory for some, but for others the music still resonates in our heart. And that's what makes it pop music's greatest misconnection. Okay, I'm sure I left out plenty of other artists, so comment down below and let me know which one is your favorite. Thanks for watching and see you around.